You're looking at Sony OLED TVs, but you're not sure which TV makes the most sense for you. Well, that's okay because in this video, we're going to go over all the models available within the Sony OLED TV lineup and then also talk about some of the size differences within those OLED TV models that you may or may not be aware of. I'm going to format this video so that you see the cheaper TVs appear first and then the more premium TVs will appear at the end. So that means that the A95L will be the last thing we talk about in this video, and after that, I'll give you my personal buying advice to which TV might be the best for you. So before we break everything down, why would you even want to buy a Sony OLED TV? Well, in my opinion, what makes Sony a great choice is that they offer the total package. And what I mean by that is they're probably one of the only brands I can think of that really bring it all to the table as far as picture quality and sound quality goes. Most of the TVs that are available on the market from other brands are going to have really poor sound quality or mediocre sound quality at best. But Sony TVs are always equipped with really great built-in sound. I can really vouch for this because I don't even use a soundbar with my A80J 77-inch. It is just going to be the TV speakers that satisfy me. And I can't really say that about many other TVs in the house. So why else would you want to go with the Sony OLED TV? Well, in my opinion, they also have industry-leading processors with the XR processor. No other TV brand can beat the XR processor in my mind. This is the best processor on the market right now, in my opinion. You will not find better upscaling ability anywhere else. So those are some positive things, but one negative thing about Sony OLED TVs is that it doesn't have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, which is kind of a weird thing to say in 2023. Most likely it won't affect most people, but if you have a PS5 and a Xbox Series X or a PC, then you very much may be affected by this. So now that you know the basic pros and cons of buying a Sony TV, let's talk about how you could separate these model differences and understand the models a little bit better. So the first thing you have to know about buying an OLED TV from Sony is that the letter that is at the end of the model number, well, that's just going to tell you which year the TV is. If you see a K at the end of the TV, you know that it is a 2022 model. If you see an L at the end of the name, then you will know it's a 2023 model. And if for some reason there's still J's floating around, those are going to be 2021 models. So let's start with the cheapest TVs on here. It's going to be the A90K series. Now, what's unique about these TVs is they're more so monitors than TVs themselves. Sure, you can use them as a small form TV, but it is most likely going to be picked up for people using it as a monitor. There's a 42-inch size and a 48-inch size, and it's important to know that these are carryovers from last year, as they do have K at the end of the name, so you know that they are a 2022 model. Maybe some of you guys are familiar with the A90J. This is not like the A90K. The A90K should be thought of more as the A80K, but just in a smaller size range, as the specs will line up more to the A80K than the A90J, as there is no heatsink in this model for the A90K. Moving on to the next models available is going to be the A80K series. Now, these are going to be last year's 80 series, and the 80 series should be thought of much like the C series from the LG OLEDs, as they both are very similarly spec'd, and most of the time they use the same exact LG display panel. And the likelihood of them being the same price is pretty high, as they do tend to match each other in price most of the time. When talking about size availability for the A80K, you only have 3 sizes available to you. You have the 55-inch, the 65-inch, and the 77-inch size. There is no 83-inch size for the A80K, but that changes with the 2023 model in a big way, which we'll discuss in just a little bit. But first, I just want to say thank you to everybody for clicking this video. It really means a lot to me that you go out of your way to click this video to learn more about Sony TVs. And I just want to let you know this is not a sponsored video, but if you want to help me out, one of the best things you could do for this video is just hit the like button if you are enjoying this content. And whatever TV you decide on buying, when you do, if you could, please use my affiliate link when buying that TV. I thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's continue on. So moving up in the price bracket, we have this year's A80L Series. This is the 2023 A80 series, and what makes this series unique for this year is that there is an 83-inch size, which I'm going to tell you about in just a second. But first, let's talk about the 55, 65, and 77-inch sizes, as they are different from the 83-inch size. So those sizes are going to be pretty much what you expected from the A80 series the last couple of years. But there are the yearly improvements that you come to expect from year-to-year models, just like one of my favorite new additions, XR clear image, which makes the XR processor even better with displaying low resolution content and cleaning up that low resolution content. So the XR clear image is just going to make the Sony upscaling ability even better than it was before. So let's go on to the 83-inch size. What makes this size really unique is that it's pretty much going to be very similar to what the A90J was, as it does have a heatsink and a lot of the same body features that the A90J 83-inch size had. What's interesting is that you probably didn't even know that because it's not advertised on the website itself. And you kind of have to go digging for this information. But if you look on the Best Buy website, somebody asked about this, saying that the body was very similar to the A90J. Is there any truth to it having a heatsink? And there was a Sony employee that responded talking about, yes, it is very similar to the A90J, explaining that it does have the features that the A90J has, as well as the improvements made to the A80L series. You could make the case that the A80L 83-inch size maybe should be called the A90L, but that could also be confusing, seeing that they use the A90K as their smaller display formats, and those ended up being more like the A80K instead of the A90J. So that's probably why they didn't do it, to avoid confusion, as they did already introduce something that was sort of confusing last year. So they probably just wanted to leave it as the A80L 83-inch size. But yes, it is better than the other sizes because of these reasons. A heatsink will greatly help out the QD-oled, so this is a nice thing to see on the 83-inch size, and it would probably be my pick for the 83-inch size OLED that I would go with, seeing that it is very similarly priced to the other 83-inch size options, but it does have that leg up because of the heatsink. Now, we've talked about the A80 series and the A90 series, but we haven't talked about the A95 series, which we're going to talk about starting off with last year's model, the A95K, and then we'll go into this year's model, the A95L. And then afterwards, I'll give you my opinion on which TV I think most people should end up buying, depending on a few factors. So let's talk about the A95K. This is a QD-oled. This is going to be different than a QD-oled, as it does have better color capability at higher brightness levels, and you are going to see it get to higher brightness levels because of this QD-oled technology. And this technology is probably the leading technology that is available in any TV right now. So it is spectacular to see in person how bright these TVs can get, but still maintain such inky black levels. Really awesome stuff when you see it in person. And the A95K is a marvel. It won Best TV of the Year from so many TV reviewers and TV journalists. And that list included me as well, as I did think it was the best TV of 2022. I would say the biggest thing holding back the A95K from being awesome to people was going to be the size, as a lot of people wanted that 77-inch OLED size, and that's not available in the A95K, but that changes with the A95L, which I'll tell you about in just a second. So is the A95K still worth it in 2023? I would say the biggest uncertainty with the A95K is going to be whether or not it's going to drop in price for Black Friday, because at these current prices, it's kind of a hard recommendation, as there are competitors that will get you closer to what the A95K can offer for a lot less. And for just a little bit more, you can get the A95L, which is going to be the brand new model for 2023, which has improvements like QD-oled 2.0, which I'm going to talk about right now. So the A95L is equipped with the latest QD-oled panel, which is QD-oled 2.0, the second generation of QD-oled technology from Samsung Display. This not only will help with the TV's efficiency, but it will also allow the TV to get to brighter brightness levels than ever before, and in turn you will also see better color brightness than before as well. Now, it is going to be subtle differences. If you see them side by side, you likely won't see a huge difference from the A95L to the A95K, but it will be able to get brighter, as the capability of QD-oled 2.0 is higher than the first generation. And if you look at Sony's website, they claim that it's going to be 2 times brighter. Now, I haven't seen the TV myself, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it very shortly. So if you don't want to miss that review and all the side-by-side comparisons that come with it, please don't forget to subscribe. I promise you won't want to miss it. Now, the thing that got people really excited for the 2023 A95L OLED was the fact that it's going to be available in 77 inches. As I told you earlier, there was only 55 and 65-inch QD-OLEDs available prior to that. But this year, there is going to be 77-inch QD-OLEDs from Samsung Display. And I gotta say, I've seen a 77-inch QD-OLED in person, and it very much lives up to the hype. Alright, so now that we have 5 models models available to us, which one should most people go with? If you want the most premium, best TV available, it's probably going to be the A95L, but I think the majority of you guys are probably going to want to settle for the A80L series, as I do think that's going to be a really good bang for your buck TV, as it has some really great sound quality as well as great picture quality, and for the price, you can't ask for too much more, as most TVs aren't going to be equipped with nearly enough sound quality that is going to be as good as what the A80L has. So if that total package matters to you, that built-in sound, then the A80L does make a lot of sense for a lot of people. When it comes down to should you get the A80K over the A80L, I would spend that little difference to get the A80L, as the XR clear image does seem to make a big difference on the TV's upscaling capability and low resolution content. If the A95K drops in price a little bit though, that would be a switch of recommendation to the A95K. For example, if you saw the TV price get close to what the S90C is, then I would definitely say the A95K is a good bargain at that price. But if it's going to be around the same prices that you're seeing now, maybe the A95L will be worth that extra amount over the A95K's current price. But it's hard to predict the future, and we don't know what the A95K will drop to, or even what the A95L will drop to for Black Friday. And when it does drop, best believe I'll be all over it. I post all the deals in my community tab, so stay tuned to that. And I'll also post a lot of Black Friday videos this year as well, so tons of content is on the way. But if you want to watch more videos right now, I do have some Sony comparisons that you may be interested in right here, as well as other buying guides. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.